All right, we're gonna get right into it. Oh, gross. Just stuck my hand right on a big pile of chicken poop. Ugh, gross. It's on top of the hay bales. So a lot of you guys have been around here for a while. You know that Stacy and I left the city over 15 years ago. It's 16 now. And we basically moved out into the country, and we live a couple miles away from an Amish community, which I didn't even know until after we already bought the place. And I eventually made my way over there. I made really good friends with Noah. He's my Amish mentor, my father-like figure, if you will. And we spent 5 years every day just doing fencing, and I was learning all the Amish ways, and I was over there all the time, spending all my time with the Amish. Okay, now we had him over to dinner the other night, Friday night. It was Friday night. Today's Tuesday, and we were talking about this whole Amish election thing, and he was he was actually a bit surprised. He's an older Amish fella, and they're not really into voting or participating in any of the government stuff. But in light of Amos Miller having his farm raided several times,
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Are you an attorney or?
I'm with the media.
Okay, alright. We're conducting a search warrant inside this building right now.
Okay.
So everybody needs to stay outside, please.
Okay.
Okay, so turn around.
Can I get access to that search warrant?
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
This is Chris Hume with the Lancaster Patriot. I'm currently outside of Amos Miller's organic farm operation here in Burdenham, Pennsylvania. There are currently 2 marked state trooper vehicles here, 3 other official use vehicles. I attempted to enter the building inside. A state trooper turned me away and said that they are executing a search warrant on Amos Miller's operations here. I have not been able to make contact with Amos Miller yet, but once again, Amos Miller's property here in Burdenham, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Law enforcement is once again harassing Amos Miller for serving his neighbors. And here we have a search warrant being executed, not allowing media to enter the building. Stay tuned, for this is a developing story. We will have updates as we have a search warrant being executed on Amos Miller's property right now as I speak. Inside Amos Miller's barn here, I came around to the backside. I was told by state troopers I cannot enter the building. So I came over here and attempted to open a window. I was told I cannot open the window. So I complied with both orders from a state trooper. There are at least two state troopers inside the building. There's someone else, I can't make out the agency on her hat. I will try to make that out through the window, who was going through some papers or looking through boxes. Again, there's a search warrant being executed right now on Amos Miller's property here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. I'm here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, looking inside the window into Amos Miller's farm store operation here. We have multiple state troopers inside. We have coolers there on the ground that have been filled with products from Amos Miller's operation. We have multiple people in there. They've been inside Amos Miller's building here for hours.
by the government just overselling food to his neighbors, and even raw milk. And I'm going to do a video about raw milk tomorrow. And there's something going on with raw milk, y'all. But I'll do that video tomorrow. But after being raided a couple times by the government, okay, the Amish have pretty much had enough, and they know that eventually they're going to have to draw their line in the sand to maintain their way of life, right? So the big news story is that Pennsylvania had a lot of Amish people turn out the vote, and I was wanting you guys to understand, A, how they got to the polls, and B, why they did it. So we got B out of the way. Roll the tape on how they got to the polls.
We paid particular attention to the Amish community in Pennsylvania.
That's amazing.
Which is why
Had anyone ever gotten the Amish out to vote before?
Not in significant numbers. But the Democrats did make a mistake because there was government overreach, and with some of the Amish farmers.
Yes.
There's no such thing as like organic farming or not organic. They're farmers. They've been farming the same way for a long time, you know. And there was some government overreach that shut down some Amish farmers, which really, made them pretty upset. You just need to be able to channel the fact that they're upset, and like, well, there's a thing you can do about it, which is called voting, and we're happy to transport you to. They're allowed to ride in vans, as long as they're not driving the van. So, we're just making sure we bring them to the polls and they vote how they want to vote, which is going to be like 99.9%. Actually, call it 100.
Call it 100 at least.
Call it 100.
He said, these are raw
in favor
milk
of Trump.
producers.
Dang, y'all. So Elon Musk just sat there in the interview and said basically that they rented the vans for the drivers, and then they went around and picked up all the Amish and brought them to the polls. This has been really something to watch, this election cycle and what's been going on in our country right now. And it seems like there's this great divide of like patriots and the gimme, my name is Jimmy folks, right? So what we want to do is just stay focused on everything going on. I love the story how Elon basically paid for all the vans to get all the Amish into them and so they could get out voting. Also, a lot of them took their buggies to the polls, donning their Trump flags. I know the election's over, and I know we're still kind of watching a few votes come in, but do not get complacent, okay? When you take people that have a strategy, a plan, and it's been in place for 50 years plus, and all of a sudden that plan starts disintegrating around them, they are going to get very, very evil. Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, all of those, Oprah, that none of those folks have posted anything on social media ever since the election. Man, y'all, until the January 20th time when he's, sworn in and everything, I think things are just going to start picking up. They're going to be crazier and crazier and crazier. But I wanted to share this fun story with you guys because I thought it was pretty neat how they got involved, rented all the vans, and took the Amish to the polls. The Amish understand what's at stake with central digital currencies, right? That's going to totally disrupt their way of life. And they totally understand about all the rules and regulations on being able just to sell food to your neighbors. And so they're standing firm, and I hope we do too, right? Share this video with your friends so they can get the behind-the-scenes story on how the Amish got to the polls. And we'll see you guys tomorrow when we're going to talk about milk.
Did you guys know that in the 16, 17, and 1800s, chocolate was consumed as a beverage? There was no such thing as a chocolate candy bar. Well, we're bringing chocolate tea back to the 21st century because it's loaded with antioxidants our body loves, and it's a great source of magnesium that's wonderful for bone and heart health. It's a great addition to your coffee machine or your French press or just along with your favorite sweetener. You can find it on offgridwithdougandstacy.com along with our brand new tea infuser, simple to use for easy steeping. Cheers!